Hello, friends. Okay. Wait for a few minutes and then we'll get started. Hello. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and post the shopping link right here in the comments. So this is where you can find all of the makeup and the skincare and the tools and all the fun things that I'm gonna be sharing about. Good afternoon. Oh yeah, it's not really morning, huh? I'm like, good morning, it's 3 o'clock. Just kidding. Hello, guys. All right, so I'm just gonna pin up my hair out of my face because we're just gonna throw on our makeup. I'm gonna be using let's just call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 products to do this like super quickie makeup look. You guys seem to really like this the other day when I did it, so I thought I'd do it again. It's one of my favorite makeup looks just because it's fast, it's easy, it's pretty, and it's very doable, especially if you're 1, balling on a budget, or 2, you're not like really into makeup, but you want something that just makes you feel pretty and makes you feel flawless. So a couple things that I wanted to mention. Before I put on my makeup, I always do 2 products. I technically do 3 products. So the first thing I do in the morning is I wash my face, obviously. The second thing that I do is I apply my eye cream. This is the Unique eye cream. I am obsessed with this. It has caffeine and peptides in it, and it is literally it's like gold. It's solid gold, you guys. It helps to heal fine lines, dark circles, under eye puffiness by so much. I was actually on their test group and I was like astounded by my own results. I used it for 4 weeks by itself without any combination of anything at all, and I was blown away by my own results. So highly recommend, especially if you have dark under eyes or puffiness. Hello from Belgium and all these other cool places. Wow, awesome. Thanks for being here, you guys. I did want to mention, if you are from anywhere else in the whole world, France, doesn't matter, you can shop right here, RheaHopeBeauty.com. Just at the very bottom of my website, you'll just change the American flag to your country's flag, and you can order from my website. So I hope that you do, especially if you enjoy these tutorials. Okay, so then the other 2 things that I use in the morning, or before my makeup, I should say, besides my eye cream, are these 2 things. So I do my Touch Bold setting spray, then my mattifying face primer, then my setting spray. So setting spray, primer, setting spray, and I love that routine because it really just holds everything into place. It makes your makeup just look so smooth and flawless. Cannot stress enough how gorgeous it makes your makeup. So today's coverage is going to consist of basically just concealer. So this is our Skin Solution Concealer. This also has caffeine in it, which gives you like an instant eye lift and is like a super firming, beautiful effect. So I'm actually going to use my true shade, which is Lace. This is the color that I wear in my foundation. So this is the color that I chose in the concealer to wear all over. I also do have the shade Organza, which is my normal concealer shade that I use on just my under eyes. So I'm going to use both of these in today's tutorial. However, I realize not everyone has 2 different shades of concealer. So if that's you, you can still use your concealer shade all over. You may just need to contour more to warm up your complexion, or you may need to use a darker pressed powder to even out that coverage. However, if you want to do this tutorial on a regular basis, I would suggest to get your true shade in the concealer to do this, for it to look really, really nice. So I'm going to take my Skin Solution Concealer in the shade Lace, and I'm going to apply this basically all over, just like so. Okay, and then once we have that, now I'm going to take my same product, Skin Solution Concealer, but in a lighter shade. This is Organza. And apply this just basically on my under eye. Okay, so now I'm going to take my blending bud, which is damp, and we're going to blend this out. Okay, so blending bud being damp is going to be really important, not only with this concealer because it's going to help it to blend out a little bit better and easier, but really any foundation you choose, it really does make a difference on how smooth and beautiful and soft your coverage goes on. So highly recommend. I'm going to stop there for a second and blend out my lighter shade, which again is the shade Organza. with a smaller blending bud, but I love that you get two. You get the large and the small when you purchase them. And again, they are damp, but if you want that super smooth look, I swear by these, you guys. These blending buds really do so much. Because they are more dense than like your everyday beauty blender. So when you first get them, you might think like, oh wow, these feel really hard. I don't know if these are gonna work for me, but give them a chance, break them in, and they're gonna be like those shoes that when you first put them on, you're like, oh gosh, these kind of hurt. These, you know, feel like they don't fit or whatever, and then you wear them for like a day and you break them in and then they morph to your feet like rainbows. Rainbow sandals. If you've ever owned a pair of rainbow sandals, you know what I mean. The first time you get them, you're like, oh gosh, these are so stiff. I'm gonna hate these. And then you wear them for a day and they literally just morph to your foot, and then they're the most comfortable sandals you will ever own in your whole life. Maybe it's a California thing, but rainbow sandals, you guys. It's the best comparison I can find. All right, so I'm going to use the shade Lace one more time. Just kind of fine tune this all over. Guys, I love this coverage so much. And another thing I love about doing it this way is that it doesn't feel like I have like a eyelash on my forehead. It doesn't feel like you have anything on your skin. It's probably my favorite part of this routine because the Skin Solution Concealer has that caffeine in it, which gives you that like instant facelift, especially when you're using it all over like this. But it just doesn't feel like you have anything on your skin, which I love. So if you have to wear a mask all day, or you're just trying to get a routine down that just looks softer on your skin, doesn't look like you're trying super hard, and just like fast and easy, this routine is perfect for you. Do you apply the eye cream at night as well, just in the morning? Yes, AM and PM, and you'll see better results. If you're just using it in the morning or just using it at night, you aren't going to see as fast of results. You will still see them, the results, but highly recommend to use it AM and PM. All right, so now I'm going to set my concealer in just my oily area. So I'm going to take a dry beauty blender. Yes, I have them too. Okay, good. So it's an all over thing. Perfect. So you get my analogy. All right, so I'm going to take my Touchable Hold Translucent Setting Powder now to set. So this, I feel like, is kind of one of those steps that like you only have to do if you have really oily skin, or maybe you want more of that mattified look. But this is going to bump up the coverage. It's going to minimize the appearance of pores, and it also is going to draw any natural oils that are going to push against your concealer. And like I said, I basically only use this in my oily areas, which is basically like my T-zone and under my eyes. So we'll apply just a little bit all over. So again, that was the Touchable Hold Translucent Setting Powder. There's no color to this one, so it will have a brightening effect as well, which is another really great reason to use it if you feel like your under eyes just look really dull and you want that really brightening effect. So I'm going to use a fan brush to just sweep away any of that excess. And then now, like I said, you can do like either or for this part. So you could do, dang it, drop that brush. You could either do the setting powder and this, or you could do either or. It just depends like what your preference is. I love doing both because I feel like it really does even out the coverage and just make it look super soft and flawless. So I'm going to use the Mineral Touch Pressed Powder in the shade Satin now, and just really just fine tune my makeup look and bump up the coverage ever so slightly. But this is one of my favorite products from Younique. I love a good pressed powder, especially when the formula is as great as this one. It's not super heavy, it's not drying, it's not cakey, it's not super powdery. It is so silky, soft, amazing. I rave about it. So again, this is the Mineral Touch Pressed Powder in Satin that I just used all over. Message me for the brush. It's not by Younique. That's one of the only products that I actually use that's not. Okay. Let's move all this setting powder off me. All right, so now I'm going to contour a little bit to really warm up my complexion, especially when we're using concealer all over. But first, let's take a beat. Isn't that such great coverage for just concealer? You guys, every time I'm amazed. All right, so now I'm going to use my same product, a pressed powder. And then if you want a similar kind of outcome like I do for this part, I would suggest to use the shade Voile or the shade Dot Blend, I believe is how you pronounce it. Can you hold up the pressed powder so I can screenshot it? Yes. It'll probably be backwards, but Yeah, totally agree. What contour shade would I use for Warm Beige BB Cream? I would suggest the shade Voile. The shade Voile is a really great neutral color. It's not super dark either. Like super dark as in like it's not going to look muddy or heavy on your complexion. Just really, really soft. But another thing that I really highly recommend is to get this brush. This is called the Tapered Blusher Brush. This brush I feel like is the reason that it looks so good. It's a perfect amount of tapered. It's perfect amount of fluff. It's seriously perfection with how it just applies your product. So if you are looking for like a really good contour brush, I cannot rave about that one enough. How much time of your setting lasts? Use the baking technique, that way you do it. So it just kind of depends what type of skin you have. If you have super oily skin, I would let it sit longer. But if you have more normal to slightly oily skin, I would use it like I do, just kind of really briskly and briefly. The longer you leave it on, the more like drying effect it'll have on your skin. So just keep that in mind. All right, so now I'm going to use my pressed blush in the shade Sisterly, and this is my favorite color of blush. I love it too because it gives you your skin like a slight sheen. So it actually is going to play off that like highlight and blush all in one. So it's a really good way to get best of both worlds in your blush, and totally like brings up your cheek structure. The blush brush I'm hoping will launch this month or next month. It is from Younique, but it was part of their Black Friday deal. I'm really hoping that it'll launch soon. Baking can make your lines show, yes. So that's why I say that you can either apply with a pressed powder to set those areas if you're doing this step, or what you could also do is you could just apply it differently. Instead of using a baking technique with the setting powder, you'll use it with a brush and just kind of dust it on the areas in which it's needed. I actually did a whole makeup tutorial on my mom where I did use the setting powder, but I used it with a brush like this, and I just kind of like tapped it on. That'll still set those areas without drying it out because you're not like overusing the product. All right, so now I'm going to use my brow pencil in medium. I shape my brows no matter if I'm doing full coverage or no coverage because it really does make such a big difference on the outcome of your eyebrows. It really does give them amazing shape and structure, which will actually give you like a little eye lift, and it just overall gives your face a really gorgeous frame. I got them waxed this morning, hallelujah. So no more overgrown eyebrows. Okay, so now that we filled them in, now I always take this spoolie side and just kind of comb through. The concealer is going to be on my website, RheaHopeBeauty.com. If you need to be color matched, if you're not sure what color you are, just comment color match in the comments and I can private message you a recommendation. I'm going to use my setting spray now and set all over. And like I always tell you guys, it's so important to make sure you're using your setting spray because this is going to add moisture into your pressed powders, your blushes, your bronzers, and just make everything look really, really natural on your skin. Helps them to expand and just look super, super soft. It's also going to help to prevent any transferring at all. Was the shade below what you are using? It depends with the shade if you're implying about the concealer or the pressed powder. But I always encourage you guys to either comment color match and I'll private message you a full recommendation, or check out my looks tab. Oh, that's so sweet, Beverly. I liked your Instagram. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. All right, so I set my makeup, so now we're going to finish it off. And yes, I am almost done. That's how amazing and fast and gorgeous this makeup look is. So I'm just going to go with my mascara, which is called the Twisted Mascara. Again, one of my favorite products from Younique. It has argan oil, keratin, and biotin infused in it, so it actually helps your lashes to grow while you're wearing it. But this is honestly one of my favorite mascaras. One, it lasts so long. We actually did the math on this the other day when I was live. I was part of their test group when this launched. So I had it 4 weeks before it launched, and so long story short, I've had this one tube for 7 months. 7 months, and I am live every single day pretty much, and even when I'm not live, I still use this. So, everyday use, 7 months. Talk about the biggest bang for your buck. Alright, so I went ahead and just used the longer side, and now I'll unscrew the top portion, and then we'll fine tune this. And like I've told you before, when I'm just doing like these really fast, easy, quickie makeup looks, I typically will only do mascara on the top lash line. And that's because it just gives your overall makeup look a really fresh, like soft appearance. It also gives the illusion that your lashes almost look like you have lash extensions. Hey-o, which is a win-win. So last part is I'm going to go in with the lip butter in the shade Sunday Brunch, which is a darker color. And apply this all over. It's actually one of my favorite colors to wear all by itself because it's like a mauve-y color without it like being too heavy or like too dark or too light or anything. It's so, so pretty. And another thing I love about it too is that it has shea butter and vitamin E in it. So it's actually so hydrating for your lips. So if you have really, really dry lips, I cannot recommend the color enough. So there's a whole makeup look. I'm going to throw a little bit of curls in my hair just so I look a little bit more put together. But that's the whole makeup look, you guys. Like I said, when I do this look when I'm not live, this maybe takes me like 3 minutes. And it's still so pretty, so flawless looking, so soft, not super heavy. Amazing. I will have the whole look linked for you guys on my looks tab, which again, you can find it on my website, RheaHopeBeauty.com, or you can click there, like so tongue-tied today. Oh, you're sweet, Jennifer. But like I said, I just wrote it in the comments. It'll pop up here in a second for you guys to click on. Or you can just comment color match and I'll give you a full recommendation. Let me know if you want the quickie makeup recommendation and I can give that to you. But basically, if you're just now tuning in, we just use concealer for our all over coverage with a little pressed powder, contoured and blush, eyebrow, mascara, and lip butter. So I'm telling you guys, this is like the makeup look if you're not like really into makeup. It still looks super pretty, fast and easy. I love this coverage. It's so doable. The lip color was Sunday Brunch is what I used. And as you see, it's like just a darker, kind of prettier, really pretty color. No eyeshadow, like I said, quickie makeup looks. Most people don't have time for eyeshadow. You're just trying to look put together. You know what I mean? Before you run out to work or you just, you want to look together. This is it. But if you want to see some really pretty eyeshadow looks, make sure to head to my page, Rhea Hope, and you can scroll down and catch any of those tutorials. The lip color is the lip butter in the shade Sunday Brunch, and everything is available on my website, RheaHopeBeauty.com, and if you need to return anything for any reason, you can. We have an amazing return policy. If you need to be color matched, just comment color match, but I would love to help. Everything is sold separately. Oh, Danny, you can watch it over. It's super short. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.